Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Path of Exile. Last episode we had a very fun encounter with the Warden, who just couldn't stand up to our might. So this episode I hope we can reach Merveil. And if that's not the case, that's probably because other more interesting things popped up along the way. So either way, it's gonna be a fun episode. Actually, I'm rather pleased with the progress I'm making so far. I mean, I think this is episode 22. And I've had episodes where I was still fighting or playing in Act 4 at this point, rather than already being nearly at the end of Act 1 in Cruel. So yeah, rather pleased with how fast things are progressing. Part of it is experience, and part of it is just how awesome this build is. You can take a lot of damage, and more importantly, you can also deal out a lot of damage. Let's see, let's keep the golem up. I think we have to kill this one. They're not really staying where they're supposed to be. Or more importantly, they're not really staying dead. Okay. I think I've lost the boss there. The indebted poacher. Yay, we killed them. We killed them good. They also killed a golem, so I guess there's some karmic balance there. Yeah, let's go for karmic balance. A Reaver helmet? That sounds like something I would be able to use. And 172 base armor is pretty darn sweet. Okay, this is a pretty good base to work with. What do I have currently on it? Armor, life, accuracy. That's what this one also has. Only more. Well, not a lot more actually. Wait. We first have to see piety before to trigger the quest, and then we can go on. Let's do some more mole whack hopping. You here have a hammer smash, and the Guardian of the Mount is back. I think they took him out for a while. I saw in the patch notes that he was back. So let's say hello, Mr. Guardian. Here, feel my hammer. Isn't it nice? Yeah, we killed him. Challenge completed. It's always good to complete your challenges. I also had another look at the challenges for this league, and there's 40 of them. And for every 12 that you complete, you get a microtransaction, cosmetic microtransaction. And the thing I want, and the thing everybody wants, the portal, requires that you complete 36 challenges. It's the third one that you unlock. So that's gonna be pretty tricky to pull off. Because I had a brief look through the entire list of achievements when the game came, or when the patch notes came out, when the challenges were announced. And scrolling through it, was like, yeah, well, it looks a little bit more reasonable than the talisman ones. But let's see, physical reflection. Do you see my life move? No. Physical reflection doesn't matter to this build. We're spiking really hard on physical damage. I like this build. But coming back to the achievements, they looked more reasonable, more fair. Because the previous season had a couple in there that were, you really had to play hundreds of hours and just have a lot of luck with RNG, basically to find all the things. There were things in there like find a unique strongbox or find a specific unique strongbox, and it's like, yeah, I actually, in the previous season, I had my very first unique strongbox pop-up ever in 3 years of playing. So, you know, there's things that are a bit more RNG bound than others. So, I think now there were at least, let's say, 20 achievements that felt like they were reasonably achievable if you played for the entirety of the season. Then they look like things that you could achieve. I think they still have that you have the little Zana to level 8, which is pretty tricky if you are playing casual and you don't really unlock her until really late into the season. Because that's what I had in the previous league, of course. I didn't really get into maps until I think partially through the second month. Some having to do a couple of rebuilds didn't help either. But yeah, if you don't unlock Zana until there's like 30 or 40 days left, then it's really hard to get Zana to level 8 by doing daily missions, which you have once per day. And I think there's some ways to game the system, and you know, partying up with 5 different people and then sharing your dailies with everybody. But I don't know, that you have to actually party up with 5 other people and coordinate that and stuff like that. And it feels like gaming this system. If that's the way you're supposed to get the achievement, it's, I don't know, achievement doesn't really feel worth it then. If that makes any sort of sense. Oh, by the way, we found the ship graveyard. See if we can find a waypoint, empty out our pockets, and then we move on. Also, I need to add more stuff to my skills to make them consume more mana. Regenerating too much. Which I suppose is a good luxury problem to have. Regenerating too much mana. I can't spend my mana.
Merveil dwells in the cave.
So, let's see. I'm just grabbing everything to get more shards of alteration, because you, well, never quite have enough. Let's see, this one I wanted to do something with. And in case I didn't mention it before, I keep my Perandus coins in my stash rather than in my inventory. A, because it's easy to share with all your characters that way. But B is, I'm playing on hardcore. And if you die on hardcore, especially if you die in the Perandus League on hardcore, you get downgraded to Standard League non-Perandus. So all the Perandus coins you have, outside of the Perandus League, they are utterly useless right now, because Kadira Perandus doesn't spawn there. So if you carry a lot of currency with you, and you lose a character, then that currency is essentially lost to you until maybe they add it at some point in, to the base game. Just like what they did with a bunch of other leagues. I mean, the strong boxes are part of the leagues, Nemesis mods, Bloodlines mods, all those things, they have their origins in the different leagues that got added to the game over time. But you can't use them right now. So that's why I keep my coins in my stash, so they are safe in case I do accidentally lose my character. And it's very easy if you encounter Kadiro to, you know, just go to town, grab the coins you need, and be done with it. I think I might have mentioned it, but I'm not quite sure how deeply I went into detail on that. It's good to refresh things every once in a while. Oh, Blandishing Shrine. I'm getting a lot of skill gems here in this specific section. Let's see. Lantador's Lost Love. Also, I think the Stone Golem is still tanking like a champ. I mean, currently I've got all my skill gems already spent on something. So I'll probably have to do some rethinking on what I want to do with the build. I might even drop Sunder, because currently, if you notice, I'm using Earthquake for just about everything. Every once in a while I'll use Sunder to hit something that's far off. But I might also just jump to something and then slam them on the face with an Earthquake. But taking out Sunder from the build would actually give me 4 slots back, or basically it would give me my entire body armor back. So then, for example, I could really beef up the golem to have more life, do more damage, have a bigger AoE, for example. Maybe link up the Ancestral Protector with the golem. That might also be an interesting thing, because the golem, I only use it in big boss fights. But it still has 2 added supports. It has the melee splash, which is very useful. If you put it on, it really does add to it. And just extra melee damage. But maybe combining it with the golem would just add more to it. Let's go to the caverns, grab the waypoint, and then we head back. Okay. But now at least we have it already. So we came from here. We've scouted out little bits of the map. Probably not here. No. Okay. So we just need to keep running, because there are ships over there, and we probably just have to head to this area. Let's just start jumping a little bit. Come on. Yes. It's annoying if the thing you're hovering over is not exactly navigable, I think. Not quite sure how you transform that. Then it will just stay stuck, rather than move or jump to something that's slightly closer. Okay. So that's kind of odd. Where are all the ships? Hashtag need more ships. Looking for ships. Well, looking for one specific ship that has an all flame. And we found it. Phew. Ooh, Perandus boys. Or you might also call them the Golden Horde. Remember that name from Europa Universalis 4. Nomadic tribe of warriors. But there's a lot of these guys and they're golden colored. So, no, it fits. Ooh, level 42, hello shrine, and a granite flask. Finally something more useful than this perpetual quartz flask. Might have its uses, but on paper it doesn't look interesting. 10% chance to dodge things, because most of the time you only pop those flasks in special situations. When again fighting against bosses and things like that. And they do a lot of spike damage. So a 10% chance to avoid spike damage for 5 seconds, not as good as when you have a 10% chance to avoid lots of little hits against a group of small monsters. Whereas if you have more armor from a granite flask, then of course that's going to apply to all the physical damage you take for the entirety of 5 seconds rather than only to 10%. And especially because armor gets more effective the more damage you take. Or the less damage you take, or the more armor you have. And that's a win-win. Okay. Let's see, we're climbing up the tree. Got 1600 life, that becomes 1650. I think we are... Let's see, we'll get another 15 points, percentage points of life. So it's going to be about 1800 life in the next 2 levels, or the next 2 skill points, to be technically more accurate. Let's see, we have to return these fellas. We got 4, only needed 2. Wonder if Katarina's going to be double happy. It's like, here, keep 2. So probably going to take them all. Sacrifice him to the totem. Totem is always hungry. Yes. See, she took them all. And not even a word of thank you. Necromancers, no manners. Okay, but I was talking life, so I'm gonna, let's see, yeah, 10%, another 5%, and then we focus a bit more on damage. And then about 5 to 10 levels later, we're gonna grab another 15 or so points in the endurance charge area of the Templar. So we're gonna go up to 1800 life, probably maybe even 1900, because we got quite some multipliers already. Gear's gonna get upgraded. And then by the time we hit late Act 2, maybe early Act 3, we're gonna go over 2000. So I think we're in a pretty good position. So situations like this, where you know you're gonna get a couple of interesting spawns, that's why I summoned the totem, just to keep it interesting. Okay, first hit, boom. I was gonna say something about interesting spawns, but I think they all died on the first wave. Rares. Not as sturdy as they used to be. Boom. He exploded. Hey. And we just portal out. I think in terms of navigation, this is one of the most poorly designed portals. Because you have to walk so far along. Ooh, Reaver helmet, rare. So, sell stuff. A lot of stuff needs selling. Is this any good? It's got one socket, can be rerolled, but all the other things are not actually worth keeping either. So, we sacrifice it to the gods of currency. And this goes all into the sorting box. Quartz Plus goes in as well, like that. Have a chat with Fairgraves. Wait, this is not where Fairgraves lives, it's one back. Also, Fairgraves is gonna get us a skill point. Well, the reward for the quest, that is. Ooh. I think we got most of it. The respawning time is rather... For this build, the only 2 or 3 respawning per second is actually slowing us down. Hey, a jewelry box. That's the last type we still needed. Got jewels in it, and got belts. And probably some rings that are not actually overly useful for me. Also, they got my golem, buggers. Hey, let's have a chat with Fairgraves. Hello there, mister. Here. Totem. Smash, smash, smash. Okay. Killed the boss. Or we killed the minions. Next for the boss. Boom. Okay.
Ricardo, we remember you, Fairgraves.
Yeah.
Your death will be much celebrated.
Okay. And we grab another skill point. That means more life. And then we got...
Greetings.
A little bit of time. Should be enough to push onwards. Let's see... That's a fair amount of life, actually. This also has a lot of mods on it that might be interesting. Let's see. Passive skill point, let's do the usual thing. We store our currency, everything else goes into the sorting box. Also doubles as my crafting box with all the belts in it. So, lots of life. Gonna go. 1658 becomes 1800. That scales very well. So we're extra secure for a fight against Merveil. So let's do it. See if we can get ourselves to Act 2 this episode. Ooh, Perandus boys. Gee, they look very rushed. I actually preemptively drank a potion there when I took even a little bit of damage, but turns out that wasn't actually strictly required. That was them. More coins. Groups, there's some blues in here, that's worth slamming. But for just regular monsters, it's not very interesting. Oh, there's a resistance shrine. Not a rare. Pretty good. That was an achievement tied to touching a resistance shrine. But as I said, things like that actually pretty doable. Because you will find shrines of every shape and form, and they are not overly rare. So by just playing during the 3 months of the league, you will find it at some point. Ooh. I approve of this strongbox. Let's see, this seems to lead on. Okay. My instinct here is always to just go as far up in the map as possible, because historically that's always where I've found the exit. But with the developers just changing the way they generate maps, and also where things point to rather dramatically in the last couple of updates or so, it feels like a lot of those things I used to hold as more or less truths or very strong guidelines, they apply less and less, and I get more and more surprised by the map layouts because there's less and less of a pattern to it, which is actually pretty cool. Also, acceleration shrine, double acceleration shrine. Yeah, this seems to lead to the exit. So this still applies, that's very good. And of course, when you leave the map, you lose your shrine. So I have to find something else that's useful again on this map. Also blue Perandus boys. Yeah, I have a totem. And we'll just start slamming him. It's actually more beneficial to keep the totem rather close to me, because then they will get into the area of the earthquake. Oh yeah, that was enough. And we got some coins. Definitely feels like these cave systems have a lot of Perandus things in them. More Lanthador's Lost Love. In some areas I rarely see them, and here you always find a couple in the level. Oh, nice. Possessed just before he died. I've gotten so used to ghosts just getting away, being just too stupid to find rares to possess, that if I see a ghost, my first impulse now is to just kill it to at least get something from it. And every once in a while they surprise me by actually doing what they were designed to do. Which I suppose is a good thing. That they're doing what they're supposed to do. All falls under the, hey, you had one job philosophy. And yeah, good to see that they are sometimes actually doing their job. Ooh, gem cutters. It's a rare. Let's do a little bit of cleaning. Identify it. Only contains support gems. Those are my favorite gems because they're harder to get and they are more useful in general. Let's see, 60% more quantity, that's good. Ice Nova, I don't really care. They've got experience, that's good. And curses me. Okay. Nothing scary, let's go. Sweet. Generosity level 3. Another generosity level 9. damage on full life, doesn't charge on melee stun. Downside of some of these things actually having rather high levels. Upside is you don't have to actually level them. So if later on you decide you want to play a specific kind of build, it's pretty nice to have some pre-leveled gems available. Without having to spend currency. And there is Merveil's lair. Hello there, Merveil. Remember me from last time? I think you made a little bit of an impression that time. Let's see how we fare. Let's see how things have changed since then. Ah. Because she doesn't really summon a lot of add-ons, so I'm just using the Enduring Cry to keep up my charges. Since I can't rely on consistently killing minions to get the charges and maintain the charges. Oh, speaking of add-ons. Merveil, the Twisted here, have done. But that life is staying rather consistently high. I'm actually regenerating my energy shield now. Ooh, Air of the Storm. And Air of the Flame, let's kill those. Let's recast the Golem. Good. Yeah. So, completely rolling over her.
I cannot carry this.
Also, completely overloaded with loot. Let's see, anything in here that would be useful, and otherwise I'm just gonna move on. Grab that, and then we move on. So. Quickly run to town. The next episode we can clear the northern part, then afterwards we do the southern part, and then we go for the boss. So with a bit of luck we can do Act 3 or Act 2 in 3 episodes as well. But yeah, that was Merveil. So normally on cruel difficulty you have a more difficult time than on normal because everything is more difficult. This build, it took a while to set up, so it was only by late normal that I actually had all the skills that I wanted. And as a result, on cruel I actually have an easier time than on normal. Reflects physical again, but pff, don't care. Steelhead, that's a... Is that a on level? That's a level 44. Okay, so I actually want to keep it. Battle plate, that's on my level. Figuring if there's stuff I can drop. Yeah, let's drop that, grab the belt. Because from an efficiency point of view, if you sell a rare, you sell a rare. So if you sell a belt, belts are small. You can fit 2 belts in your inventory in the space that normally a helmet would go. 3 in the space of an armor, 4 in the space of a bow or a two-handed weapon. So when I'm constrained for space, I usually try to drop the largest items I've got and just pick up smaller ones. That's actually how I've got my loot filter set up as well. So the further into the game I get, the less I show blue items and the less I show large blue items as well. So early on in the game, I just want to pick up everything to get currency, especially in the new league. But also with new characters, it's always good to pay a little bit of attention to blues that drop and stuff you could sell for loot. But the further you get into the game, the more accessible rare items are going to become and the more currencies you have. So it's more efficient to just keep going and pick up currency from the floor rather than picking up blues and selling them for 2 whole shards. Most of the time that's just not worth your time because it's more efficient to just leave the blues and just walk on until you actually find real currency. But that's also why I first stop with showing the large blue items, and then I just downscale until all I see is belts and rings. So I'm gonna sell this in the next episode. We are gonna explore the northern part of town, do there's 2 trials of Ascendancies now. Let's see if that fits in the 1 episode or if it's gonna be 2. Then the western part of town is usually rather quick. But that's going to be next episode. So I'm going to thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.